everybody and welcome back to the Jensory YouTube channel with me, Jen. If you're tuning in for the first time, a very warm welcome. Hi, my name's Jen, I'm a special needs teacher and welcome to Jensory. And today we're going to make something that I've called a visual frame. I don't know if it's really got a name, it just sort of came to me as an idea one day, and I've used them with learners with visual impairments or limited vision in the past with lots of success. So I just want to share this activity with you in the hope that you can go and make one of your own. So the inspiration for this, it came from a woodland walk where you walk through the trees and you see all that lovely dappled sunshine coming through all the branches, and I thought what a beautiful visual thing that is, and how can we create that? Now I've used these before with lots of visual learners. They're really great for seaside themes as well because you can do yellow and blue as a really lovely contrast, but this one is my woodland one. I'm just going to talk you through what I've done, what I've used and the reasons that we're going to use it. Okay, so fundamentals first. This is just a wire basket. I actually think it's called a shelf basket. I got it from the range. It was literally £3 or something like that. But any wire basket will work, or cooling racks work really well, so the cake cooling racks. I tend to use ones that are crisscrossed rather than just straight, just because it's easier to weave things in and out of them. But they're super cheap, easy to clean down after use, and they're fab. Now the great thing about these as well is that they stand up on their own, so the drawer ones are quite good for that, and then you can create like a little sort of mini world with your learner that just brings the space a little bit closer. So to that you can see that I've just woven some different materials in and out of the whole grid. So I've used green cellophane here, I've used crepe paper because that creates a really nice effect with light. I've also woven a little bit of ribbon through it as well, and some slightly see-through green material as well, and I've just done it in layers to create this really lovely stripy kind of pattern that kind of evokes those feelings of walking through a woodland. Now whilst these obviously look like really nice tactile resources, we're going for vision in a big way here, so I'd go for things that have good visual properties rather than tactile properties, because actually we're not creating a busy board or something like that, we're creating something that is there and designed for looking and promoting looking skills. Now we can use these visual frames in a variety of different ways dependent on your learner. Now I always say know your learner, know your learner, know your learner in Jensory videos, but it is so important, so it's worth reading their file or knowing what kind of visual impairment they've got, if they've got one. So can they perceive light? Can they perceive depth? Can they perceive colour? Can they have peripheral vision? There's so many things that you need to know, and actually it might be worth doing a visual assessment on them using something like this, so you can kind of gauge their reactions of different things. Now we talk a lot as practitioners about something called tracking, and that's the ability to follow a moving stimulus, so we can use this beautifully for that. So if you want to start in the middle, so you would hold it like this. Now there's another thing here about depth perception which I'll talk about in a minute, but you would hold it there and just move it right to left and let your learner look through it and visualise it. Now bear in mind, if you've got a learner with a visual impairment, chances are, and again it depends on your learner and it depends on the visual impairment, but chances are they've probably got better vision closer. So actually what we want to do is try and bring the world closer to them, because sometimes it's really difficult to perceive shape and colour and light when there's all of the classroom or all of your home environment behind in the background. Sometimes learners get confused with contrast and it becomes quite a scary place to try and distinguish it all. Whereas actually if we can bring this closer, not only is it visually really appealing to look at, but it actually becomes a slightly less frightening place and becomes a slightly less frightening thing to try and look at. So we can bring it really close like that, and again do some tracking that way. Another thing you can do is to go up or down. Now obviously that's going to require head control from your learner, so if you've got a learner with really limited neck and head control, that's going to be obviously difficult for them to lift their head up, but look for those really subtle things in their eyes. See if they can kind of just lift their eyes a little bit to see where it's gone or to go down. So left, right, up and down is a really good start with these kind of things. From that as well you can do a bit of depth perception stuff, so you can start further away and get closer, further away and get closer. It's always good to do these kind of things if you're trying to work out what your learner can see, what they can't see, and work out the best kind of positioning as well. Like, are they better on their right side? Are they better on their left side? Are they better sort of here, or do they literally need it right here? And is that going to give them a lovely bit of visual stimuli? Now, these are great to be used with torches and light as well, so I have put torches or aurora lights onto the list. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to use my aurora light with it because I love them, and if you've watched Jensory before, you'll know that I use them for everything. So I'll put it on green, and we're going to shine it from behind, and as you can see, that's just going to create a really visually appealing effect for your learner. Now, as you can see, I'm moving it around, so again, we're exercising those eye muscles a little bit as well. We can go far away, we can get closer, we can even do it unlit, lit, unlit, lit. Again, you've got loads and loads of opportunity here as well to build up anticipation skills. So if you do it in a darkened room, you can have it without the light. Bearing in mind you probably have it nice and close so that it's kind of blocked out all the other visual clutter that you might have. And then you can do wow, and dark. Ready? And light and dark. Okay, because then you're going to get a good picture of whether your learner can see light or dark, but also you're building up that suspense and that anticipation, which is a really good skill from an engagement level. Now, we also need to be mindful of the fact that many children and learners who are registered blind aren't actually completely blind, so we need to just be mindful of that and remember that actually they might have some sort of sight. Now, what that sight is depends on their learner, and as I mentioned, it could be that they can't see colour but they can see light and dark, or they can't see straight ahead but they've got good peripheral vision, or vice versa. And again, it's about knowing the diagnosis as best we can. Obviously, with learners with SEN, it's quite hard to sometimes gauge what they can and can't see because they might not be able to necessarily communicate that to you. But fundamentally, I would say it's about getting that joy and getting that enjoyment for wanting to look at things, because even if they've just got a little bit of vision, that's still going to help them make sense of the world. That's still going to be a really, really key sense in helping them to feel okay. Last point that I will make, these are really, really good for use in a sensory story. So if you make a few of them up for your visually impaired learners, or all of your learners actually, you can take them on their own mini sensory walk. So if you're going through the woods, you're doing bear hunt, you're doing stickman, you're doing anything like that, you can go, we were in the forest, bring it closer, get your light, shine it behind them, and then they're in their own little mini forest. And what is not to love about that? That is so awe-inspiring and exciting. And there we have it. That is my visual frame. I highly recommend making them. They took me about 10 minutes to make. They're so easy to change over with topics, so if you're watching as a practitioner, you can literally change them over so easily and so quickly. You can label them up so each learner's got their own one. You can include things in it that you think your learner is more motivated by over time. So if they respond more to a certain colour or a certain contrast, you can use that. But bear in mind that you might need to do some sort of visual assessment on them just to make sure what they can see, what side's good for them, what distance good for them, what colour, what light, what all of that. I will see you on Friday for a Woodland sing-along. We'll go on a lovely little woodland walk together to finish off the week. So I hope you can join me for that. Until then though, if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up down at the bottom. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so for more Jensory ideas and fun in your life. Have a good few days, everybody. Take care. Bye.